Coming to you from the Big Island of Hawaii, it's the Songs and Stories Podcast. And now, here's your host, Steve Roby.
Aloha, I'm Steve Roby from Big Island Music Magazine. Welcome to the Songs and Stories Podcast. It's a weekly show where we interview Big Island musicians and check out their music. On today's episode, I'm very honored to have sax man extraordinaire Jesse Snyder as a guest. Aloha, Jesse.
Hey, aloha, Steve. Thanks so much for. I'm honored to be featured here on your Songs and Stories podcast. Thanks for reaching out to me.
You're such a fun musician to watch on stage. You just have a blast when you're playing a concert. So
I appreciate it. Yeah, if it's not fun, I'm not going to show up. It's usually how it works for me.
I mean, I've seen you play, with bands and kind of solo, and even just sitting in. You're having so much fun, so it's contagious, my friend.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, I have a good time doing it.
That's
good. Why I do it.
I'd like to start out each show with a look back at a musician's early influences and how they got started with music. What was it like for you?
I'm definitely grateful for the music program that was offered to me in public school at fourth grade. If we want to start right at the beginning, all the extra practice and the support from my grandfather and my father. As soon as I could read music, my grandfather had me playing through a lot of the American songbook and through jazz standards. And in fact, my grandfather's on both sides. They gave me access to their tapes and their CDs and their record collection. Of course, my father was always playing good music around the house. And in the car, like music of Michael Franks, Mose Allison, David Sanborn, Steely Dan was the big one.
All the greats. Was the saxophone your first instrument?
No, actually, the clarinet was my first instrument.
Okay.
And I was particularly attracted. Either my parents or my grandfather, they gave me a Benny Goodman tape for Christmas, and I remember hearing that for the first time, and I was just completely hooked. And my grandfather actually was able to supply me with a clarinet because he was a bit of a musician as well. And then, probably a year later, he happened to have an alto sax hanging around as well. And he lent me that. So I was doubling almost right away, which was very lucky to have the support like that.
Was there a particular moment or something that in your career, in your life, that spoke to you as like, well, I want to do this full time. I want to become a musician. Can you pinpoint that moment?
I was just so obsessed with it as a child. Have you heard of anybody that's gone out for Halloween as Benny Goodman? I never have. I mean, it's...
how does one dress like Benny Goodman? I mean...
For Benny Goodman, exactly.
I mean, I see he had dark hair, short...
Yeah, it was basically a suit, from the thrift store with some round glasses and a clarinet, of course.
So you brought the clarinet as a prop, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And as far as a moment, I didn't even know if I really thought about it that way. I just enjoyed it so much. I just did it, and I was getting so much support from people around me. I just kept on doing it. And it wasn't really until I moved to the Big Island where I started to play much more than I even played at on the East Coast. There were just kind of magically these opportunities opened up for me.
When did you come to the Big Island, and why did you? Why did you stay here? But
why? Well, it was back in 2009. I came out to work. Well, I was inspired by just the beauty and the energy of the Big Island when I was on vacation in 2009.
Okay.
And I was offered to caretake a 300-acre ranch. And so after the vacation, I went back to the East Coast, and I had an opportunity, one of the connections I made out here, to go live and work on a 300-acre ranch in Kohala.
Wow.
And
300 acres, huh?
Yeah, beautiful.
It's like a
place.
city.
It was, yeah. And I thought, this seems kind of like a chance of a lifetime. I'm going to at least give it a try. I have nothing holding me back.
Beautiful,
so,
great.
So here I am.
Would you like to talk about some of the bands and musicians you played with here on the island? And are there any fun stories you'd like to share with us?
There's so many stories. I don't even. I guess first off, the band that really got me back into playing after I moved out here and reading music and arranging music was Bump City. It was a fun cover band,
right?
That had like a funk repertoire
with jazz. Isn't jazz from Kappa Radio in that band?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. He came along later down the line to jump in as the front man. Played with them. That was wonderful. Always a great time. Also established the Redwater Trio. Played at the Redwater Cafe every Friday for it's 9 or 10 years. I've been there. And doing that enabled me to just continue to play through jazz standards and and to create a nice ambiance for the restaurant.
Right.
Also played with the Castaways, which is kind of a group of local musicians or Big Island musicians.
Yeah,
wonderful guys. We've played regularly at the Hub up in Hawaii, but also down at Gertrude's in Kona a couple times. Actually recorded at least one live album at Gertrude's with Castaways.
Then let's talk about the big band you were in, the Hawaiian swing band, Kahula Nui.
Oh yeah, definitely. The band that has probably gained the most notoriety is the Hawaiian swing band Kahula Nui. Just unbelievable with them. One of the first interviews that I did with them, I think it was with Jazz, and I said that it was serendipitous, and they just thought that was the funniest term to use. But it really was amazing. It validated my move to the Big Island, sort of. Everything kind of lined up because I had been steeped in big band music, and here was an opportunity to possibly reignite and maybe even put a spin on some of the Hawaiian big band music of Ray Kinney and Lonnie McIntyre.
How many members were in the band or are in the band?
9. So it was 4 horns. That was the bridge with Bump City to Kahula Nui. I was asked to write some horn arrangements, and I was playing with the 4 horns of Bump City. I just figured, we're going to, I saw that Ray Kinney in his YouTube videos had 4 horns. He had 3 saxes and 1 trumpet in the one particular video that I saw. So I thought, hey, I've got 4 horns. I'm going to try to do something, similar to this.
In 2016, you were Grammy nominated as a musician for Kahula Nui and arranger for their first album there. What was that experience like? Yeah,
that really, actually, I guess that was really the validation. I was like, I must have done something right. This would never have happened, to me, if I would have stayed on the East Coast. I highly doubt it. It was just unbelievable, to get to go there and to be on the other side of the camera, to be in the audience with just all those amazing artists. Not to mention, it's just a blast. Touring with those guys as well was just always so much fun. They really are like a family.
It wasn't too long ago that you guys did a couple of tours of a tour of the state with different sections of the country, right?
Yes, yeah. There were 2 or 3 years where we were going out, 2 or 3 times a year, getting to play these wonderful, theater venues, these beautiful theaters in New York. We got to play at the Lincoln Center for one of their, the outdoor. They have like an outside venue that they do, which was unbelievable dance floor, and amazing to be a part of.
What was the mainland's audience reaction like? A Hawaiian swing band.
It definitely, I think, by surprise.
I bet.
I think it was a lot showier than they were expecting. It was always it seemed like an instant hit. Everybody, so much wonderful feedback from everyone we played with. Really a blessing.
Well, let's switch gears here and talk about your new album, Muse, which has recently been released. Yes. And tell me how that came together and who are some of the folks featured on it? Yeah.
So with Muse, I wanted to pay tribute to the muses in my life, the people who have influenced me and inspired me and who have loved me. I'm really lucky enough to have an all-star lineup of people. My wonderful guitarist Kurt Warren. Lucky enough to meet up with him. He unfortunately lives on the mainland now, but we still keep in touch. Matt Spencer, the virtuoso bassist and guitarist.
Oh yeah, he's incredible.
The superb piano playing of Lauren Wilkin, off the Big Island. Of course, the legendary Brian McCree, from Boston.
Yeah.
The fantastic drumming of Michael Supernat, who, also recorded, mixed, and helped me to produce the album. We worked hand in hand the whole time, or shoulder to shoulder, I guess. And then I have special guests, Kimo Cornwell of the Hiroshima Band, just fabulous job. Oku Award winner, Maggie Herron, who just made my dreams come true. She did exactly what I asked her to do. I just gave her some direction, and it was wonderful. And of course, we've got the nostalgic steel guitar of Dwight Tokomoto of Kahula Nui. Uncle Dwight is amazing.
Well, the first track we're going to play off of Muse is called Waikiki. Why did you select that to be covered?
I was kind of inspired by the memories that I had there. Touring with the band. With Kahula Nui, playing shows there. Going out to eat on the town, which, if anybody knows me, they know I love to do that. And just enjoying myself in that beautiful town, in the company of my bandmates and friends. I kind of wanted to give it sort of a more intimate spin than I had heard. So that was that's what I tried to do there.
Well, let's give Waikiki a spin right now here on Songs and Stories.
There's a feeling deep in my heart, stabbing at me just like a dart. It's a feeling that's heavenly. I see memories out of the past, those memories that always will last, of that place across the sea. At night, when the shadows are falling, I hear you rolling surf calling, calling and calling to me. It's for you that my heart is yearning. My thoughts are always returning out there to you across the sea. Your tropic nights and your wonderful charms are always in my memories, and I recall as I held you in my arms, an angel sweet and heavenly. Waikiki, my whole life is empty without you. I miss that magic about you, magic beside the sea, magic of Waikiki. is empty without you. I miss the magic about you. Magic beside the sea. Magic of Waikiki. Magic of Waikiki.
Hey, how's it going, everyone? This is Michael Supernaut with Mana Music and Media Productions, and you're listening to the Songs and Stories podcast with Stephen Roby. Please visit our website, manamusicandmedia.com, and learn more about our broadcast quality audio, video, and photography production services. manamusicandmedia.com.
The Songs and Stories podcast is a production of Big Island Music Magazine. If you subscribe, your podcast app automatically dishes up the latest episode straight into your feed. We appreciate ratings and reviews too. Thanks for listening.
Like what we do? Share this on your socials and tell everyone.
I just like everything about it.
Snapchat us. We'd love to hear from you.
It's awesome. We absolutely love it.
Like what you've heard so far? Make sure you never miss a show by clicking the subscribe button now. This podcast is made possible by listeners like you. Thanks for your support. Now, back to the show.
Prepare yourself.
Okay, let's go.
And we're back on Songs and Stories with my guest today, Jesse Snyder. God, every musician I asked has a story about the pandemic, COVID-19, of gigs getting canceled. But there's some positive, upbeat stories, too, of a time to kind of pull away from it all and do some writing. What have you experienced during this unusual time?
Yeah, it really is a time for reflection. It has given me a chance to finish up the last bits of the album. And I've actually been working on some corresponding short music videos as well. Actually, a full-length music video, which will be released very soon. Those have been my main, and also just kind of getting into some preliminary ideas of possibly, maybe a future album. We'll see if,
all right.
See how what people think of this one. I'd love to hear everyone's responses to it.
I bet you're eager to get back on the stage again, and like everyone is.
Oh yeah, I definitely am. I definitely look forward to resuming the regular gigs. I miss the venues. Actually, I miss the people, really, the customers and the staff.
Mm-hmm.
They just kind of become, like a family. You're with them, a number of times a week.
Right. There's something about that energy between the musicians on stage and the audience that just can't be represented like in a Zoom concert or a live stream show, I think. I don't know. I mean, of course, it sounds great coming through your home speakers and on your big screen TV and everything like that, or even on your computer. But I sure miss that energy of a crowd reacting after a song has come to a conclusion.
Oh yeah, and that's part of the addiction. I think is that communication. It's like an unspoken communication. It's magical. That's definitely one of the magical things about music.
Let's jump back into your new album, Muse, again. Let's talk about Thomas Dolby and She Blinded Me with Science. Were you a big Thomas Dolby fan?
Well, a little bit. I actually didn't get into too much of his stuff, but so I was playing, or I was invited to play the Science Friday show at the Kahilu Theater, and I wanted to play. I wanted to have a couple tunes that were at least included some sort of something scientific, and She Blinded Me with Science kind of started to come to me as sort of a swing cocktail feel, and I thought, I wonder if if I could pull that off. And luckily, I was able to get together with Lauren Wilkin and Brian McCree, and we came up with a nice arrangement of it. Or I think, and I'd like to hear what everybody else thinks of it.
Well, this new album too debuts your vocal stylings, right?
Not only is it my first album, but singing is kind of a new thing for me. It's just given me a chance to kind of discover that side of myself.
All right. Before I play the track, can you give me your best Thomas Dolby, She Blinded Me with Science?
She blinded me with science.
It's poetry in motion. She turned her tender eyes to me, as deep as any ocean, as sweet as any harmony. But she blinded me with science. She blinded me with science, and failed me in biology. When I'm dancing close to her, I can smell the chemical. But it's poetry in motion. And when she turned her eyes to me, as deep as any ocean, as sweet as any harmony. But she blinded me with science. She blinded me with science. It failed me in geometry. When I'm dancing close to her, science. I can smell pheromones. Science. I don't believe it. There she goes again. She's tied it up. I can't find anything. All my tubes and wires, in careful notes, in antiquated notions. It's poetry in motion. And now she's making love to me. The spheres are in commotion. The elements in harmony. But she blinded me with science. She blinded me with science. And hit me with technology. Science.
Wondering how you can show your love? Head over now to Facebook and drop a like.
If you enjoy the Songs and Stories podcast, we'd love for you to subscribe, rate, and give a review on iTunes. Be sure to visit bigislandmusic.net to join the conversation, access the show notes, and discover our fantastic bonus content. Now, back to the show.
Okay, we're back on Songs and Stories with my special guest today, Jesse Snyder. Pleasure to have you on the show, Jesse.
Oh, man, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much, Steve.
As I was mentioning before, a lot of the Big Island shows I've seen you at, you just don't play sax or you just don't play flute. You play a variety of other instruments, too. Some at the same time I've seen you play. All the hands are busy and everything. Like, what instruments do you play? And what haven't you played yet?
What haven't? Well, I mostly play. I started out on the clarinet. That was my first instrument. Picked up the saxophone soon after that. The flute kind of came around. Flute and drums. Started to fool around with them in high school, and a little percussion. In Kahului, I've even had the chance to pick up the nose flute.
That's right.
Which was featured Yeah.
Where can folks find your new album and follow you on social media?
Best place to find the album, jessejsnyder.com. You can also find me on Facebook. You can follow me there at Jesse J. Snyder. Also on YouTube, Jesse Snyder Hawai'i. If you look that up, you can purchase the album. You can purchase a signed album on Jesse J. Snyder.
Ooh, that's cool. I've got one of those.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Hey, I was also curious about the cover too, and I see on your shop section of your website there, you've got the album cover on a T-shirt too. Great. I love the artwork on that.
Thank you so much. I love the artwork too. I was completely inspired by it. My good friend Lori Kay, his artwork. He lives here on the Big Island. When I saw that, I admired it for a long time, and then when I started to record the album, it just clicked. That I'm doing an album in celebration of the muse, and wow, there's a muse. There was one of his muses.
Yeah, definitely. It's beautiful.
I just love the colors, and it just caught my eye. Yeah.
Well, we'll close out with the track Nightbird here on Songs and Stories. But before I let you go, what would you like to say about this track here?
Well, I just, it was probably one of the first Call Upon Us tunes that I heard. I just thought, I wonder what it would be like as a bossa nova, like sort of with a bossa nova production. Just figured I would attempt it and write a little horn ensemble sort of a thing. I'm just trying to go for bossa nova, the 60s sort of production where they have, they usually have some sort of a little ensemble. They've got 2 nylon guitars. Thank you, Matt Spencer, again.
Yeah.
Just did a fantastic job on the guitar tracks and, the upright bass. And just wanted to see if, what that would do to it.
There's nothing wrong with the bossa nova.
Yeah, no, not at all. The bossa nova will never die. Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to add before we go, Jesse?
Well, I just thank you so much, Stephen, for having me on the podcast here. Please, everybody out there, the listening audience, please check out jessejsnyder.com and follow me on Facebook at Jesse J. Snyder. And I would love to just hear what you have to say about the album, what you think.
Great. Always great to hear some feedback. And the fun thing with podcasts, too, is it's not just here on the Big Island. It goes out everywhere. I get statistics of where the listeners are from, and they're all over the world.
Oh, that's amazing.
Well, Jesse, thanks again for being a guest on Songs and Stories, and aloha.
Oh, yeah. Been my pleasure, Stephen. Mahalo. Aloha.
I love her, tell her wait for me. Here it seems so cold now, how I miss her arms around me. Soar, nightbird of love, make her wait for me. 'Cause you have wings, I'll let you go almost every night. But loneliness can dull the shine of even the bright moonlight. Nightbird, fly on, fly on. Nightbird, before you leave, take this band of gold with you. And if you can find her, tell her I am true. 'Cause you have wings, you know, I'll let you go almost every night. But loneliness can dull the shine of even the bright moonlight. Night bird, fly on, fly on. Ooh, night bird, sing her my song. Night bird, fly on and on and on and on. Night bird, fly on, fly on.
Hey everyone, this is RJK Kaniao, and you're listening to the Songs and Stories podcast. You can check me out online at rjkaneaomusic.com. That's RJKANEAO music.com. Join my mailing list and check out all my social media links. And please don't forget to click those follow buttons. Once again, this is RJK Kaniao. Aloha and mahalo. Shoots!
Hey, Big Island music fans. Would you like to be part of the podcast? If you go to our website, bigislandmusic.net, you can record a comment about the show or tell us about a musician you'd like to see interviewed. Just click on the microphone icon and start recording.
You're the best. Oh, yeah. I love you guys. I love the variety. Good music. Amazing. Just amazing. Plays really good music. Very good.
Don't forget to tell us where you're located. Your comments might be included in a future podcast. So head over to bigislandmusic.net. We'd love to hear from you.
Thanks for listening to the Songs and Stories podcast. Make sure you never miss a show by clicking the subscribe button now. This podcast is made possible by listeners like you. Thank you for your support. We'll see you next week on Songs and Stories. Aloha.